September 1787. 55 men sign a piece of paper that proudly promises human liberty, while simultaneously locking invisible chains onto millions of people. The newly written Constitution is supposed to be a beacon of democracy. Yet hidden within its complex legal articles is a highly toxic, deeply disturbing political bargain. Today, we expose the catastrophic moral failure of the founding generation. We witness the absolute shock of the American public as they read the new laws, and we watch a brilliant, relentlessly ambitious lawyer write like a madman to save the United States from total political collapse. To understand this dark moment, we must return to the sweltering heat of the Philadelphia Convention. The delegates have successfully resolved the bitter dispute between large and small states by creating a two-house legislature. The House of Representatives will allocate political seats based entirely on population size. This rule immediately triggers a highly aggressive, morally repulsive demand from the Southern delegates. The wealthy Southern economy relies entirely on forced labor. The Southern politicians demand that their massive enslaved populations be counted as citizens to drastically increase Southern political power in the new government. The Northern delegates are thoroughly disgusted. They argue it is completely hypocritical to deny people basic human freedom, treat them as property, and then simultaneously use them as human beings for political gain. The debate becomes incredibly hostile. The Southern states issue a terrifying ultimatum. They explicitly state they will abandon the convention and destroy the new nation unless they get their way. Fearing the complete collapse of the American experiment, the Northern delegates surrender. They forge a dark, devastating agreement. They decide that for representation purposes, the government will count an enslaved individual as a fraction of a human being. They create the 3/5 compromise, embedding a catastrophic moral flaw directly into the foundation of the republic. This toxic bargain guarantees Southern political dominance for decades, pushing the nation relentlessly toward a future civil war. With the ink finally dry, the Constitution is printed in newspapers across the 13 states. The American public reads the document and reacts with absolute, overwhelming shock. They originally sent the delegates to Philadelphia merely to fix the weak Articles of Confederation. Instead, these men conducted a secret political coup. The public is staring at a massive, incredibly powerful new central government that has the absolute authority to levy taxes, regulate trade, and command a national military force. A fierce, bitterly divided political war instantly erupts across the entire continent. The country splits into two deeply hostile factions. Those who strongly oppose the new constitution call themselves the Anti-Federalists. This group includes famous, highly respected patriots like Patrick Henry and Samuel Adams. The Anti-Federalists are deeply terrified of centralized power. They look at the proposed office of the presidency and warn the public that this executive leader will inevitably evolve into a tyrannical king. They warn that a permanent national standing army will be used to suppress local uprisings and crush state sovereignty. Most importantly, the Anti-Federalists point out a massive, undeniable flaw. The document lacks a specific section protecting individual liberties. They demand a Bill of Rights, arguing that, without it, the new federal government will eventually strip citizens of their fundamental freedoms. The supporters of the new system, known as the Federalists, realize they are rapidly losing the public relations war. The Constitution faces a very real, terrifying danger of being completely rejected by the states. If ratification fails, the United States will dissolve into vulnerable, bickering territories, making them easy prey for aggressive European empires waiting across the ocean. The Federalists desperately need a massive, brilliant propaganda campaign to explain, defend, and sell their new political system to a highly suspicious public. They need a political genius. Enter Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton is a young, fiercely ambitious lawyer from New York who served as George Washington's trusted military aide. He is a relentless, aggressive political fighter with an unparalleled intellect. Hamilton understands that waiting for the slow political process will result in absolute failure. He decides to launch a massive literary counterattack. He conceives a project to write a series of detailed, highly persuasive essays outlining exactly why the Constitution is strictly necessary for national survival. He calls this massive literary undertaking the Federalist Papers, aiming to publish them anonymously in New York newspapers. Hamilton knows he cannot write this massive volume of work entirely alone. He recruits two highly brilliant political minds to assist him, John Jay, a prominent diplomat, and James Madison, the primary architect of the Constitution itself. They plan to write 25 essays, evenly divided among the three of them. However, the project takes an unexpected, highly dramatic turn. John Jay becomes severely ill after writing only 5 essays. James Madison writes 29 incredibly profound, highly analytical essays detailing the complex checks and balances of the new government. That leaves Alexander Hamilton to carry the rest of the massive burden. What happens next is a stunning display of human endurance and intellectual firepower. Hamilton begins writing like a man running entirely out of time. He writes frantically, day and night, producing brilliant political philosophy at a staggering pace. He defends the necessity of an energetic executive branch, an independent judiciary, and the absolute need for a unified national economy. While Madison provides the deep philosophical framework, Hamilton provides the relentless, aggressive political defense. In the end, Hamilton writes an astonishing 51 essays in just 6 months. His relentless dedication completely overwhelms the Anti-Federalist opposition. The essays become the definitive explanation of the American political system, shaping legal interpretations for centuries to come. Through Hamilton's frantic writing, Washington's quiet influence, and the promise to quickly add a Bill of Rights, the tide finally turns. One by one, the states hold intense, bitter ratification conventions. By the summer of 1788, the required 9 states officially ratify the document. The United States Constitution becomes the supreme law of the land. The paper revolution is successfully completed. But writing a government on paper and actually making it work in reality are two entirely different things. The nation desperately needs a leader to step forward and define the mysterious new office of the presidency. George Washington must leave his peaceful retirement and take the oath of office. He will soon discover that ruling a divided nation is far more difficult than leading an army. The Founding Fathers will quickly turn against each other in a bitter, highly destructive political war. We will witness the birth of Washington's cabinet and the explosive rivalry that divided the nation in the next episode. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.